Hello, welcome to the program. My name's Graeme Sinden. My guest on today's show is Mitch McDiarmid, current WA 500c Solo Champion, who's just returned from Poland and Europe after a very, very successful season, and he joins me now in the studio. Well, Mitch McDiarmid, thanks for your time and thanks for coming into the studio to have a chat about your solo career today.
Thanks for having me, Graeme. It's great to be here.
Mitch, let's start off where it all began, Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway. At the early days, you were on the small little track, the 142-metre track. You started out on 50s, you went to 125s and then 250s and eventually 500s. All through your career, you've showed terrific promise and great skills. Yeah, I mean, in every division, you've achieved the top as you can go sort of thing. And you've achieved that in your junior career on 250s. You jumped onto 500s and then you've gone to Victoria and won other state titles. You're the current WA champion. So you've had a great career so far.
Yeah, it's definitely been awesome. You know, we've made some decent accomplishments over the years. We've had the 125 Australian title, number 2 in that, and then 250s. I think we got Vic title, Vic champ, WA champ twice, and Australian title, and then ever since the 250 Australian title, it's kind of we've just been focusing so much on Speedway, and it's been going up kind of since there.
Now on the weekend, you've got a state title to defend at Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway. Have you had a run on the track since you've been back from Europe?
Yeah, we had our first practice on the weekend, and it was great to be back. You know, it's been a long time since I've rode back at Pinjar since the start of the year, but no, it was awesome. It was so fun to be back on the bike, back in Australia, being home. You know, it's just unreal feeling.
Now, just tell me, when you've been riding all around the world in Poland and UK and so on, and then you come back to Pinjar Park, 330 metre circuit, how does it compare with many of those you've ridden on?
To be honest, the shape of it, it seems like a Polish track because it's a real round shape, but I love the track, it's really nice, but it still has some dirt on it at the same time, so it brings more of that English side into it, so it's kind of like a mix of the two, but no, it's awesome. It's an unreal track.
Yeah. I noticed on a lot of footage from UK and Europe and Poland and so on that the tracks are very flat, no camber on them, and riders are able to get right out on the airbags or the boards, if you like, and get plenty of drive and speed. Can you do that on Pinjar with the dirt on there?
Pinjar's sort of a bit different, the dirt, because it's such a far track from the curb to the fence, so where everyone usually, when they're racing on the inside, the dirt only gets pushed a middle way up the track. Yes. When you're riding the high line, usually that high line is still 5-6 metres away from the airbags, but no, it still creates great racing, and it's an awesome track.
Now I'm going to put up a couple of slides here for you. Just tell us a little bit about this one. Looks like you've got an Oxford suit on there.
Yeah. This photo was at pool. That was a good meeting. I'm pretty sure we scored 12 plus 2 this day, I think. But it was awesome. It's a real nice track. It has good dirt on the fence, so usually the racing lines get pushed pretty wide.
Now, in Europe and UK, you're riding for a Polish side, you're riding for Oxford in the UK, and I think you've done 1 or 2 guests, have you?
We had in Premiership in England, we did about 6 guest meetings or so, and you get a few guest meetings every now and again, but definitely I'm riding for Oxford Cheetahs in England and Zielona Góra in Poland.
Now, it just rolls off your tongue when you say that, but this is your first full season. You're only 18 now, aren't you?
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
17? So a very tender age. You go over to Europe, your first full season there, and you've achieved some remarkable results. Just tell us what it's like to go from Pinjar Park in Western Australia, doing about, 10 meetings a year, to then go over to Europe to ride against some of the best talented people in the world who have been doing this for probably as long as you, but in any one season, probably 3 times more events than you in terms of experience. So it's a big ask for someone from Perth to go over there and do what you've been doing.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I've had so much help along the way from my dad and all my other sponsors that have got me to where I am. But it's been a great season overall. We've done a lot of meetings throughout the year, but I think this is where it comes from. Like most Australians that go overseas, usually the level of riding from the Australians are so high. I think because it's a difficult for us to go all the way overseas, whether most of these boys are doing it as hobbies or on the weekends or something like that. So I think that's what brings the level up a little bit for Australia, because we know we're doing what we love, but we need to do well in it.
Mm. Now, when you're talking about Poland, I mean, some of those kids, as I say, are riding on the best gear. They've got no fear. They've been riding for a long time at the highest level. Did you take your own bikes over there? Or you have engines over there? What did you do for that?
Poland, we got a lot of help from the club. They gave us our bikes and our engines, but they're helping us out so much. They're making sure we're on the best equipment possible, and we got everything we need to succeed in the sport. So I think I will go a long way with the club in Poland. Just because they've helped us out so much over the years, and I can't thank them enough.
Mm. Just tell us about the photo that's on the screen now. That you're in an Australian suit again. Was that the Speedway of Nations, or was that the SGP2?
Yeah, that was the Speedway of Nations. I was riding with Tate Ziski and James Pearson. All the boys did really well. We ended up getting third that day. So yeah, it was an unreal experience though. It's my first Speedway of Nations I've ever done, and we managed to get a good score out of it. I think we scored like 19 plus 1, so 20 points at the end of the day. But yeah.
Yes, and here's another one again in the Australian suit. What's this one all about?
Yeah, that one's against the GB boys. They also did very well. They have Luke Colleen, Dan Thompson, and Luke Harrison on the team. But it's then again you're riding against your teammate from Perth, Luke Colleen. So it's unreal to see where we've both gone.
Mm. All right, and let's have a look at another one. This looks like your poly suit here now.
Yeah, now we're at Zlonagora here. That was a race day. I reckon it was against Roslav, but that was probably towards July or so, where we were starting to get our starts a bit more consistent to what they were at the start of the season.
Mm. Talking about starts, you've just triggered a thought in my mind. Those guys, because of the number of races they have and have done, starting is critical at that level, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Once you start going up a bit more in the level, like I only did a few matches in the Extra Liga, but once we hit the Extra Liga, it's so different because every single person is on point with their reaction timing and how they use the clutch. But probably at the start of the year, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know what it is, but how are these boys making such good starts? Because it just doesn't seem possible. But it's all about being on the bike all the time and getting all that riding time in is really what helps it. And then I had Pepe, my coach in Poland. He held out massively with it. It was every single week he was helping me to get better at them.
Mm-hmm. Now, get better at them, you certainly did. You were selected to ride in the 2025 SGP2 lineup. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, coming into the first meeting we had in Manila. That was a decent meeting for me. I managed to get 7th, but it was really a track where I liked it. Had a lot of dirt. Yeah, it definitely had a lot of dirt that day. You're struggling to turn the bike a bit, but some riders love that type of stuff. So then 7th for that meeting, and then we had Latvia and Denmark. But yeah, both them two meetings, they were just big learning curves. I think after the first meeting, you get to the middle of the season. Obviously, I wasn't getting tired or anything, but after the first meeting, you've got that out the way. The next few real become the task.
Okay. And what sort of an experience is it when you're in a world champion, under-21 world championship? I mean, a kid from Australia riding in a under-21 world championship, you don't do that every day, do you?
No, it was pretty cool to get the call up from Mark Lemon. I was just sitting in the hotel during the day, and he rang me up and said, you've been selected as the wild card for the GPs. So, yeah, it was an unreal experience, but we knew we had a lot to come. So, yeah, we've done our best, and hopefully we can do a better job next year and get some better placings.
I'm sure you can. Tell us a bit about this one on the screen there.
Yeah, this one is also at the Speedway Nations too. I would say probably that's towards the end of the meeting, I reckon, against Czech Republic. That was a good race. Me and Bednar were going hard at it, but the dirt line started pushing really wide, so we nearly got caught out in the last lap on the fence. But managed to save it.
Speedway of Nations, again, getting called up for Australia, and now you're in a team environment rather than the individual environment. That must be another experience again.
Yeah, no, that was cool, just because we were riding, I'm riding for my country, so you want to do the best you can. And, but no, it was an awesome meeting. Definitely learnt so much from it, and the experience, Torrens such a great stadium. It's got the roof over not completely covering, but definitely one of the nicest stadiums in Poland.
Sure.
And then you've got the fans there as well, cheering you on. So, it's pretty cool.
Well, we'll take a short break and we'll be back with more of Mitch McDiarmid right after this.
At Maddington Toyota, we're all about great deals, value, quality and service. Head to our website for quality new, demo and pre-owned vehicles with videos so you can find your perfect car. We can organise the details by phone and email and deliver the car right to you. Check out the entire Toyota range, plus a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all backed by our real commitment to great service. Maddington Toyota, great deals and great service. Oh, what a feeling.
Tell us about your experience with Mark Lemon. Lemo's been doing that job for a long time, and he seems to be able to mould guys together and get the best out of them in a team environment, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been around the sport a long time, so he knows what he's talking about. But he's around all these guys, Brady Kurtz, Jack Holder, and the list keeps going over the years. So, but no, he was a massive help, and he was a huge reason why we done what we could in the Speedway Nations.
Now, you're 17 years old. You had a crack at, I think, 4 or 5 meetings the season before, but this was your first full season in UK and Poland. Stiff competition. It's not just all about getting on the bike and riding it to the best of your ability, is it? You've got a whole range of other things that come into play. You've got to have accommodation. You've got to arrange transport from Poland or Europe to England. You've got to have a van or transport for the bikes. It's a big logistical effort, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And especially because I'm still 17, so when I'm over there, I don't have my license, so a lot of things become a real struggle. But no, you just got to keep pushing. It's what you want to do for the rest of your life, so you got to make it work somehow. But no, it's such a cool experience. The whole thing all put together, it just makes Speedway what it is. But yeah, no, brilliant.
Was it helpful having Luke Colleen and Cam Heeks over there to engage with and have spend some time with?
Yeah, for sure. Me and Luke, we have good laughs and we go play golf and whatnot. And then Cam's the same. Cam's helped me out a lot this year, and especially with coaching as well and giving me a place to stay. But yeah, no, he's been a massive help for this season. Knowing that I have someone there that has the experience in the sport, and he's been in England a long time, so he knows what he's doing. But he's definitely one of the more stylish riders in the team. So he's good to listen to, and he helped me out a lot with that.
So when you go away from England back to Poland again, what's your arrangements over there in terms of accommodation and transport and whatever? And the language barrier, of course.
Yeah, the language barrier you kind of adapt to over time, because I was living there for the first 6 months, and then the season finished there, so we lived over in England for the last 2 months. But yeah, next year, because I'll be 18, I'll have my licence and everything like that, so things will start to become a bit easier. But the clubs are still giving us, I think, the same help as we had this season, so it should be good.
And you've got a new contract, obviously, for Poland, and the same for Oxford again next year?
Yeah, I've got a 2-year deal with Zielona Góra, so I'm back with them next year, which I'm really excited about. And obviously, we're still looking at what's going to happen for next year for England. We're not 100% sure yet, because they're still waiting on to see what happens with the leagues and stuff like that. But yeah, once we find all that details out, then we can make some confirmations. But until then, we're just seeing what happens with the leagues.
How easy is it these days to get visas to go and race in England and Europe? If you, like WA title, have you got to be a title holder or something of that nature? Does that help?
Yeah, it's you've got to. If you're in the championship, you've got to have an average over 5, which we were lucky enough to get a 5.18 this year. So we've already qualified for the visas, but yeah, if you don't make that average, then you've got to win a state title over here. So, but yeah, they do make it fairly difficult, to be honest. But
Now, you're back in Perth. You're going to race this weekend, in fact, Saturday, 15th of November, up at Pinjar Park in the state 500cc solos. You're the defending champion. I'm not saying it's an easy task, but I'm tipping that you should win that. I mean, nothing's certain in Speedway, I know that. What else and what other rides are you going to do in your time here in Australia, which is effectively now your off-season, isn't it?
Yeah. So our plan is, I think we got about 9 meetings over East and 3 at home. So definitely still a busy off-season, but the main focus is this weekend at the WA title. It should be a really good meeting. There's some good competition, and it's just good to be back home. So hopefully it's going to be a good meeting, and hopefully we get a lot of fans down as well.
Well, unfortunately, clashes with the sprint car deal down at the Perth Motorplex, but there's still lots of people that are totally engaged with solo and sidecar racing, and they'll make their way up to Pinjar Park, I'm sure. Going into it as the defending champion, does that put any more pressure on you, or you just go out and ride and do what you normally do?
No, every meeting's the same, to be honest. You know what the goal is every meeting you go into, so we just got to make sure that goes our way, and hopefully it all ends well at the end of the day.
Now, are you defending title holders in any other state?
I think it's just WA at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't know when you won those other titles that you'd previously knocked over, but I won't be able to get up there, unfortunately, but I'm sure Dad will give me all the news, and we can keep track of what's happening there. But I certainly wish you well, and it'll be a good meeting for solo or motorcycle speedway fans. So I encourage and urge everyone to get up there and support you. Luke Colleen, is he running in Perth in the championship? Or Cam, for that matter?
Nah, so I think Cam comes back in December, and Luke unfortunately just broke his wrist at the last meeting in Oxford.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's very unfortunate. But yeah, he'll be back running again in the summer. We've got that meeting down Winchester's testimonial, so I'm sure he'll definitely be back for that. He'll be looking forward to, after seeing the track that I looked at the other week at the Woofy track. It looks unbelievable. It's going to create some good racing.
Great stuff. Now, just before we let you go, tell me a favourite moment or something that you really enjoyed in your first full season in Europe and England, UK.
In UK, it would probably be, the favourite moment was probably at Poole when I got the 12+2, I think it was. It was an unbelievable meeting, and I was pushing the boundaries a bit for what I thought I could do with my riding, but it was so cool just to go up against them boys and really lay it all down on the track.
And favourite rider over there, or the one that you most appreciate or admire?
It'd probably at the moment it'd probably have to be either Brady Kurtz or Ty Wolfenden. Brady's just got unbelievable starts, and he can ride the bike like nothing when he's in the dirt. So, and obviously Ty is just an Iron Man on the track. Like, he's unreal. So. He's definitely one to keep a lookout on.
Well, he's an Iron Man off the track as well.
Yeah.
Just tell me, while we're talking about Ty, I'm a great fan of his as well. What did the news of his horrific crash do to you in the middle of your European season?
Yeah, when he had his crash, I was on the phone to Dad like all the time trying to figure out, what's going on. But it was definitely a crazy thing that happened during the middle of the season. I was in Poland at the time, and then all the other boys wanted to know. Then they had started talking about what possibly could be the dangers on the track with the airbags and stuff like that, because I know the airbags lifted up. So they started talking about pulling the airbags down and stuff like this. But yeah, no, it was crazy at the time when we heard about it. It was definitely it was a life-changing crash, I can imagine, for him.
Goodness me.
Yeah, so.
And for him to be able, we're talking Mitch McDiarmid here, but Ty is such an engaging person and a terrific speedway rider. For him to do what he's done off the track and rehabilitate himself, it's nothing short of a miracle, is it?
No, without a doubt. His Ty's always been like that. He has a very strong mentality. He's a tough character for sure. He can, obviously by this crash, you can see he's bouncing back from everything, and he's now signed a contract, I think, with Austral for next year. So, it'd be good to see him back. Obviously, like, we've seen him back on the track for practice in Roslab, and he's already looking super fast. So yeah, crazy guy.
I remember at the time your dad here in Perth had the difficult task of telling Faye about the sad news, and that must have been a horrific thing for him to be able to do.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, Faye and the kids as well. I know they had to go over and sort a lot of it out. So yeah.
This is probably putting on you on the notice, but would you like to see him hang up the leathers at this time, or go on riding and do what he loves doing?
That's up to Ty. He can. He's probably going to keep riding until he thinks he can't do it the same anymore. But he'll know when it's right, and I'm happy to see him still in the sport. So.
So getting back to Mitch McDiarmid, what's your goals and ambitions from here? I mean, you've already proved what a terrific rider you are in your early years of Speedway. You've got a long way to go in your career. And you've got to have dreams and goals. So what are Mitch McDiarmid's goals?
Well, if we're just, for the start, if we're looking at next year, the goal is to make at least podium in the SGP2. I think I need to do better next year than what I did this year. I'm sure we can make it happen with a lot of work in the off season and just keeping on the bike. But overall for the future, I want to be one of the top riders in the world and be in the GPs at top level.
How do you do that? How does Mitch McDiarmid get to the top level in Speedway solo racing?
That's what we're going to have to find out. But I think it's just all about the training and keeping focused on the sport and just always trying to believe you can do it.
Mm-hmm. On the track, do you get a lot of opportunity apart from racing? Do you get an opportunity to get on the track and just practice starts or other things that you think you need improving?
Yeah, more so in Australia, not as much, obviously, because there's a lot of different rules and stuff like that here for practice. But when you're over there, when you're going into practice, you're going there you need to test one thing, you need to work on another thing. So every practice you're making these small adjustments that can get you better on the bike later on and help you for the racing. But in Poland they love to do tape starts so you can really practice what it's actually going to be like in the race and versus other riders and stuff like that.
And do you do that on your own, or have you got your teammates around you practiced at the gates?
Usually they put you up against riders that are very close to you or like a lot like your type of riding style. So, it just keeps you on the bike and keeps you race ready.
Mm. Now, going back again next year, you're going back to tracks now that you've at least ridden on and you understand their composition, whether they're slick or heavy or whatever. Does that give you, a better advantage for next season going into that?
Yeah, for sure. Working on these tracks, it definitely makes it stronger rider in future.
Mm. And have you got a favourite track that you like riding on?
Oh, do you mean overseas or?
Yeah.
So I'd probably say in Poland, Zelona Gora is awesome because you can really push the dirt wide there, and sometimes the only way to go around is on the fence. So, but England. Obviously, I love Oxford so much, but Workington's a really nice track. It's probably one of the most polished tracks in England, but Workington and Poole as well because of the dirt there.
Mm. And for next year, should you get into into Oxford again with a contract, where would you like to be riding there?
That I can't at these times. I can't say just yet, but we've got to keep our eyes open and see what comes to us first.
Mm.
So,
well, Mitch, you've certainly thrilled lots of your Australian fans over here during our winter season while you've been riding in Europe and England. You've been doing some remarkable things over there. You've got to now defend your WA Solo Championship at Pinjar Park on the 15th, Saturday, up there at Neerabup. So we wish you well for that, certainly, and then certainly for your next season as an international rider in Europe and England.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, there we are, Mitch McDiarmid. What a wonderful young man, an ambassador of the sport, and we wish him well for the future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Talking About Speedway.